The press conference was supposed to be about her victory. Karolina Muchova had just delivered a masterclass, dismantling Alex Eala 6-0, 6-2 in exactly 60 minutes to reach her first ever Miami Open quarterfinal. She had fired 20 winners against just 11 unforced errors, converted all 5 breakpoints she earned, and conceded only 8 points on her serve across the entire match. It was, by any measure, a statement performance from a player who has fought back from career-threatening injuries to re-establish herself among the world's elite. But when Muchova sat before reporters, she didn't want to talk about her own brilliance. Instead, the 29-year-old Czech veteran did something that stunned everyone in the room. She turned the spotlight directly on the 20-year-old Filipina she had just beaten and delivered a verdict that left the tennis world buzzing for days. "Alex is going to be a superstar," Muchova said, her voice carrying the weight of someone who has seen greatness up close. "I have no doubt about that." The words were simple, but from a player who shared the court with Iga Swiatek, Aryna Sabalenka, and Coco Gauff, they carried meaning that no ranking could measure.
March 23, 2026. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens. The grandstand court was packed with Filipino fans who had traveled across oceans to watch their hero, their flags waving, their chants echoing through the Florida night. They had come expecting magic. What they witnessed instead was a tennis lesson. From the very first point, Karolina Muchova was in control. Her serve was precise, her ground strokes heavy, her movement fluid. Eala, by contrast, looked tentative. Her usually reliable backhand found the net. Her footwork seemed half a step slow. The weight of 390 ranking points, the semifinal haul she was defending from her magical 2025 run, pressed down on her shoulders. The first set lasted 22 minutes. Muchova won it 6-0, conceding just 6 points. The Czech set the tone right from the get-go, dominating in the service game and powering through with her returns. The second set began with more of the same. Muchova raced to 4-0, and the specter of a double bagel loomed. Eala, to her credit, refused to let it happen. At 4-0, she held her serve for the first time, letting out a roar that seemed to release weeks of tension. She saved 3 match points, fought for every point, refused to go quietly. But Muchova was simply too strong, too experienced, too precise. After exactly 60 minutes, the match was over. Final score, 6-0, 6-2. The statistics told the story. Muchova finished with 20 winners against just 11 unforced errors. Eala managed only 7 winners and committed 13 unforced errors. The Czech had never been broken, the Filipina had barely held serve. For Eala, the loss extended her drought against Czech opponents to 0-12, a streak that had begun in 2020 and now included losses to Linda Noskova, Barbora Krejcikova, Marketa Vondrousova, and Teresa Valentova. The Czech Curse, as fans had begun to call it, remained unbroken. But what happened in the press conference after the match would prove far more revealing than anything that happened on the court.
Karolina Muchova walked into the interview room with the composed confidence of a player who had just delivered one of the most dominant performances of her career. She had every right to talk about her own brilliance, her comeback from injury, her first Miami Open quarterfinal. Instead, she did something that left reporters scrambling for their notebooks. When asked about Eala, Muchova's face softened. The competitive intensity that had defined her on court gave way to something else entirely. "Alex is going to be a superstar," she said simply. "I have no doubt about that." The words landed like a thunderclap. Here was a player who had just handed Eala the most lopsided defeat of her young career, a veteran who had faced the best in the world, publicly predicting greatness for the 20-year-old she had just dominated. Muchova continued, her voice carrying the weight of someone who has seen what it takes to succeed at the highest level. "She has the game, she has the mentality, she has the support, and that's something special. The way her fans follow her, the way they support her, it's incredible. You can see why people believe in her." She paused, as if choosing her words carefully. "I've been where she is. I've had injuries, setbacks, moments when I wondered if I could keep going. She's already proven she can handle the pressure. That's not something you can teach. That's something you're born with." The room was silent. Reporters who had expected the usual post-match platitudes found themselves witnessing something rare, a genuine moment of admiration between competitors. When asked about the 0-12 record against Czech players,
The statistic that had followed Eala throughout her career, Muchova dismissed its significance. Tennis doesn't work that way. Every match is different. Every opponent is different. She's beaten Swiatek, Gauff, Keys. She's proven she can beat anyone. It's just a matter of time.
The words that Muchova spoke that night would be quoted for weeks, shared across social media, and analyzed by tennis pundits around the world. Here is the full exchange that left the tennis world stunned. Reporter: Karolina, you've just beaten Alex Eala in dominant fashion. What are your thoughts on her as a player and as a competitor? Yeah, it felt pretty good. I mean, you get nervous here and there when it's going, I don't want to say easy, but when the score is in your favor, it's like you have to be cautious. So a little bit nervous, but obviously I'm super happy to be here in quarters. It's incredible. And what about Alex? This is her second deep run in Miami. What do you see in her game? Pausing, her expression softening. Alex is going to be a superstar. I have no doubt about that. She has the game, she has the mentality, she has the support, and that's something special. The way her fans follow her, the way they support her, it's incredible. You can see why people believe in her. She's now 0-12 against Czech players. Does that surprise you? Shaking her head. Tennis doesn't work that way. Every match is different. Every opponent is different. She's beaten Swiatek, Gauff, Keys. She's proven she can beat anyone. It's just a matter of time. What advice would you give her? Smiling. Keep going. She's already doing everything right. The results will come. The wins will come. She's 20 years old. I'm 29. I've been where she is. I've had injuries, setbacks, moments when I wondered if I could keep going. She's already proven she can handle the pressure. That's not something you can teach. That's something you're born with.
Eala's loss to Muchova extended her record against Czech players to 0-12. The streak includes losses to some of the biggest names in Czech tennis: Linda Nastova at Indian Wells just weeks earlier, Barbora Krejcikova at Wimbledon, Marketa Vondrasova at the Canadian Open, Marie Buskova twice in 2024. But it also includes losses to players ranked well below her, like Teresa Valentova, a 19-year-old who had beaten Eala twice in the span of 6 months, first at the Japan Open in September 2025, then again at the Qatar Open in February 2026. The pattern is undeniable. Against every other nation, Eala has proven she can compete with the best. She holds a winning record against top 15 opponents, with victories over Coco Gauff, Iga Swiatek, Madison Keys, and Jasmine Paolini. She has reached the semifinals of a WTA 1000 event, the quarterfinals of another, and has established herself as one of the most exciting young players in tennis. But the Czech Republic? It's as if the entire nation has been programmed to break her. What is it about Czech players that gives her so much trouble? The answer lies in the Czech tennis philosophy. The country has produced some of the most technically complete players in the world, from Martina Navratilova to Petra Kvitova to Karolina Pliskova. Czech players are taught to mix spins, change pace, and use the entire court. They don't rely on one weapon. They rely on making you uncomfortable. And Karolina Muchova is the embodiment of that philosophy. At 29, she has built her game around variety: heavy topspin forehands, sliced backhands, delicate drop shots, and an uncanny ability to read opponents' intentions. She isn't the biggest hitter on tour, but she might be the most unpredictable. I'm excited to see how I'm able to compete with her, Eala had said before the match, her voice carrying a mixture of excitement and respect. I'm sure I'll be put in a lot of tough positions, but I'm super excited. That excitement, that willingness to face the toughest challenges head-on, is precisely what Muchova recognized as champion material.
As Eala turns her focus to the clay season, Muchova's words will echo in her ears. The praise from a veteran who has been to Grand Slam finals, who has beaten the best players in the world, who knows what it takes to succeed at the highest level. It carries weight that no ranking can measure. Eala's next tournament will be the Upper Austria Ladies Linz Open, a WTA 500 event beginning April 6th. It will mark her transition to the clay season, the surface where she trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy, where she developed the patience and tactical awareness that have become her trademarks. From there, she will head to Madrid for the first WTA 1000 event of the clay season, followed by Rome, and finally, Roland Garros. The clay offers something hard courts cannot: time. Time to construct points, to use angles, to find solutions. time that Eala, with her tennis intelligence, might finally use to break the Czech Curse. She leaves Miami with 120 ranking points and $105,720 in prize money. Her ranking will settle at number 45, a drop from her career-high number 29, but still a testament to the progress she has made over the past year. But more importantly, she leaves with something that no ranking can capture: the respect of the woman who just handed her the most lopsided defeat of her career. "Alex is going to be a superstar," Muchova said. "I have no doubt about that." For a 20-year-old who has carried the weight of a nation since she was 13, those words are worth more than any trophy.
Karolina Muchova just did something that stunned the tennis world. After dismantling Alex Eala 6-0, 6-2 in the Miami Open fourth round, the Czech veteran didn't celebrate her own brilliance. Instead, she turned the spotlight on the 20-year-old Filipina and delivered a verdict that will echo through the sport for years. "Alex is going to be a superstar. I have no doubt about that." The praise carried weight. Muchova has been to Grand Slam finals. She has beaten the best players in the world. She knows what it takes to succeed at the highest level, and she sees that same fire in Eala. The loss extended Eala's record against Czech players to 0-12. The Czech curse remains unbroken. But Muchova's words reminded everyone that curses are made to be broken, and that the 20-year-old who has already beaten Swiatek, Gauff, and Keys has nothing to prove except to herself. Now Eala turns to the clay season, to Linz, to Madrid, to the French Open, and wherever she goes, she will carry Muchova's words with her. She's already proven she can handle the pressure. That's not something you can teach. That's something you're born with. Was Muchova right to call Eala a future superstar? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe now for daily WTA news, match breakdowns, and stories that go beyond the scoreline, because every day is match day.